What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the campus of Glenwood School. It is a huge rivalry night on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. The building is packed. We got Glenwood Lee Scott Academy as they are making their debut this season in the AHSAA, and this is a battle for first place. First, we've got the Lee Scott girls. We've got the Glenwood girls. This is the rematch of the AISA championship last season. Both teams 2-0 in area play. The winner will have sole possession of first place in Class A Area 6, Class 3 Area 6. And then at 7:30, we will have the Glenwood Gators, Lee Scott Academy Warriors, the defending AISA champion Lee Scott Academy Warriors. Both are 2-0 in the area. The winner will be in first place. This is a big game. We got WRBL's Jack Patterson. We got WTBM's Mackenzie Collins in. It's Georgia Alabama Sports Live. I'm excited. I'm pumped. Down the road, we got Brookstone and Pacelli. We've got Sumter County Carver. It's rivalry weekend, and we are brought to you by Zaxby's, Glenn Smith Chevrolet GMC, Pepsi, Alabama Power, Kinetic Credit Union, Gordy Eye Care. We also want to thank our supporting sponsors, Alex Quinney Allstate, Master Wall Incorporated, State Farm, Carol Purdue, Terry Johnson Agency, CVC, and Access programming on the CNAW News channel. You can easily find CNAW on Facebook. Just search for Colin Scroggins on CNAW News, and you'll have access to both local news and are excited about this partnership, and will bring more of everything you want to see on your timeline every day. CNAW News with Colin Scroggins and Georgia Alabama Sports Live, live and local 24/7. We're going to go ahead and take a break, and when we come back, we'll have the pregame show between the Lee Scott Academy Lady Warriors and the Glenwood Lady Gators right here on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. It is rivalry night here in Phoenix City. We'll be back after this.
My name is Sergeant Jason Swells, and this is my CVCC story. Class sizes were not too large. The professors in each class had time to talk. It was almost like a one-on-one experience. One of my daughters is a student at CVCC right now. She's going through the arts program. I've got another son who's right behind her who's ready for it. CVCC did prepare me for my career. They made sure you knew the subject before you walked out of the class. It was a great experience, and I could say for anybody who's deciding or thinking about going into criminal justice, CVCC has got my vote all day long because they're on top of their game.
Even though I'm away at college, Kinetic Credit Union is for contactless payments. By the way, Mom, I need some more money.
Football, proud sponsor of Georgia Alabama Sports Live. And I can tell you that your chicken sandwich, or try the new chicken finger tacos with your favorite drink from Amazing's A Best, from Off Crosby's, your catering and tailgating. Georgia Alabama Sports Live wants to say thank you to one of our presenting. Without businesses like Buffalo Rock, we wouldn't be able to go cover softball, volleyball games, every type of high school businesses that support us, and specifically, Tess, after a nice long day, why not enjoy it with a nice refreshment?
In 2025, we're hammering down high prices at Glenn Smith Malika, new GMC Sierra 4x4 crew cabs, discounted up to $12,000 off. GMC Terrain with a roomy cabins for 120 days on the way. GlennSmith.com. Get ready to smile.
Coming up next here on Georgia Alabama Sports Live, Lee Scott Academy comes into this contest 11-10 overall, 2-0 in the area. The Glenwood Lady Gators come in with a 12-6 overall record, 2-0 in the area, and they have been on an impressive 6-game win streak. The last time that Glenwood lost was in the Pigeon Forge tournament during the Christmas break. They won 2 games in the Border Wars. They beat Wadley. They went on the road to defeat Northeast Methodist. They defeated Pike Liberal Arts and Beulah twice. And now they get ready to take on Lee Scott Academy. And the winner of tonight's game will be in first place. Here's some of the leaders as far as leading scorers for the Lady Gators. Bobby Taylor Brazil averages 12.4 points a game. Mimi Johnson has stepped into the senior role as a sophomore, averaging there more, who got injured in that first game against Notasulga. As for Lee Scott, their leading scorer is an absolute freshman sensation. She is the coach's daughter. She had an impact in the championship game. He was featured in the Border Wars. We were able to take in the Border Wars. Camden Cleveland is a senior, coming in average. Here are your starters for your visiting Lee Scott Academy court, with a freshman and a sophomore that are post for the Glenwood Lady as a Glenwood Lady Gator, and she is one of the top leaders on this team. Emerson White, who has hit big shots in her career. She was able to get a big shot in the championship game in the fourth quarter against, is one of those three-point specialists. That's Bobby. And Glenwood is led by their head, Hoochie Valley, who is also a dual hat. He's being the P, and he's also just in the building. We see on. All right, we're going to flip off here. Where we'll be back after.
And I received my certification from CVCC. The training that I got, scholarships, and then you meet people. I would recommend CVCC to the small stuff that you can't get at a university.
Glenwood, Lee Scott here on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. As the PA announcer is announcing the starting lineups, we've got a packed gym, and we expect it to be like this throughout the night. An empty seat. We definitely rest here. Glenwood won the season series 5-0. They beat Lee Scott Academy 5 straight games last year. They played against each other in the Border Wars 2 times in the regular season, the area championship at Macon East, and then in the championship game in Montgomery for the AISA championship. That's a lot of times facing a team, and they always say it's hard to beat a team twice. They had to play them 5 times, and Lee Scott remembers that. Camden Cleveland, Mimi Johnson, tipping, and Glenwood wins the tip. And here comes Mimi Johnson, the point guard, takes it across the timeline, being guarded by Haynes Kesey. A nice move, just goes around, back over. There's a shot, and it's good by Bobby Taylor Brazil. And that's the first 2 points of the game for Glenwood. Yvonne over to Cleveland, top of the key. Quickly, almost got stolen. Now with it is Sydney Dunlap. Dunlap over to Kesey. Kesey, Yvonne in the corner, being guarded by White. Yvonne driving the baseline, puts up a shot, And getting that rebound is Mimi Johnson. Pass to Claire Graham. Graham made sure, and there will be a 3-second lane violation on Glenwood. It's going to go like each other. They have respect for one another. Yvonne puts up a shot and scores. Clark Yvonne over to Johnson. Mimi Johnson. And gets poked out of bounds, and it's going to go off of Johnson. And Lee Scott's got the leading scorer for the Lee Scott Academy Lady Warriors. Only a freshman. Crossover and a spin on Emerson White. Back over to Dunlap. Cam, good screen, but that's going to be a moving screen on Dunlap. You got to plant your feet when you're setting up screens. Had to take a sneak peek at one of the games that we have on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. Sumter County has an early lead on Carver. Thrift Behringer on the call over at Carver. Let's go. Drives and gets fouled. And you know, Central and Auburn playing against each other. Smith Station and Opelika, Valley area. As this is the rematch of the AISA at the Cramden Bowl at the Multiplex on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. What a cool moment that was to get to call a game where his daughter hits a big shot in the fourth quarter. Cam Cleveland, guarded by Graham. Graham, no, that shot to tie this game. As said that was not a foul shot. So Cam Cleveland with a little spin move, and she traveled. That's the third turnover by Lee Scott. You got to watch out for those. Crisco move. Brazil puts up a shot and draws the foul. And the leading. She was a bench player last year behind TK Davis. Saw some valuable minutes for the team. The post player in the post as she makes them both. And she's pass over to Kesey. Kesey, Emerson White with it. And then Yvonne tried to pull a pick the pocket play, and it actually worked. And we left to go here in the first. As this
Partner with one of our
Chevrolet GMC, Pepsi, and also our social media partners, we want to give them a shout out. Colin Scroggins and CNAW2news.com, as Georgia Alabama Sports Live will now be the home for all sports, and CNAW2news.com. And we also want to give a shout out to Only Colga, our social media partner as well. But just search for Colin Scroggins or CNAW2 News, and you will have access to both local news and our sports programming. We are excited about this partnership, and we want to bring you more of everything you want to see in your timeline every day. Georgia Alabama Sports Live, live and local 24/7. By the way, Glenwood will take on Dadeville tomorrow. Timmy Johnson driving the lane and back over to Graham. Graham, Gators, they're both seniors. Camden Cleveland and Riley Fields. Other than that, they got a pretty young team. Back over to White. Emerson White. Over to Johnson. Johnson puts up a shot. No good. Rebounded by Riley Fields, and that's going to be an. It's really a cat and mouse game. You go up, and then that team makes closer. But right now, Glenwood with the 6-4 lead. Clark Yvonne. And it's hard to tell. Looked like she was in the motion of fouls early on here in the first quarter. And that gets tipped away by Crisco. As checking into the game is Maggie Herndon. Seems like these two teams played in football, and we got our first jump ball of the game. Let's go stay right here with the Warriors. Lee Scott Academy out of Auburn, Alabama. As they are located in Lee County. Over to Yvonne. Top of the key, guarded by Emerson White, who's been outstanding on defense this year. She has been Coach Purdue's defensive specialist, and she is going to be guarding Lee Scott's best player. Back over to Yvonne. Just trying to be patient, making sure that everything comes difficult. Herndon back out to Cleveland, top of the key. Remember, ASA. They took on Calvary Christian. Alabama will get a shot clock because that will be a foul. Fantastic triple header, part of Rivalry Day, part of Rivalry Weekend. That started with Carver Spencer last Saturday. It's going to end with Manchester Harris County tomorrow and Marion County Chatco as well. Lee Scott with a chance to tie it. Dunlap, right wing, takes it to the top of the key, and we got a moving screen. And yet another turnover. Count them up. That's 6 turnovers by Lee Scott. I know that has got to frustrate Coach Harrison. Crisco with it, now over to Johnson. Johnson, left-handed dribble at the Gator logo. Guarded by Kesey. Back over to Emerson White, gets it tipped, but BT Brazil comes up with it, puts up a shot, and no foul was called there. That was a clean block, and now Lee Scott with it with a chance to tie. And that pass was just a bit outside. Yeah, I told Brandon I wanted to get that in there in tribute to Bob Uecker, one of the greats from the movie Major League. Mimi Johnson trying to take on Riley Fields. 11.4 points a game. She has really had effort and has played valuable minutes for Glenwood in the absence after the first game against Notasulga. Got Stella Henderson coming into the game for Glenwood, as well as Sutton Lewis. Casey, and that is off the mark. Rebounded by Claire Graham. Oh, Crisco, that was inside. That was intended for BT Brazil. That was stolen by Lucy Zellner. And Clarkie Fox with the shot. What if she gets going? Yeah, that is just a blocked by BT Brazil. And then it's taken by Lewis. And Lee Scott with a 1-point lead. Mimi foul on Lee Scott. Well, with an opportunity to do the full court press, but not to commit fouls. They'll just be at the line. As Mimi Johnson's first foul shot is no good. And we got Lily Moody, the sophomore, averaging 5.1 points off the bench, coming into the game. Also, Maggie Herndon checks back in, and that is made by Johnson, and we are tied once again. Back over to Dunlap. Dunlap, a long two, and gets it in. Sydney Dunlap. And that was very close. Her foot, I believe her foot was on the line, but Lee Scott's going to get the ball back, up by 3. Rebounded by Casey. Back out to Yvonne. Yvonne driving the lane, puts up a floater. Back Johnson. Less than a minute to go. Johnson, crossover, top of the key. We also want to thank our supporting sponsors. We did Terry Johnson Agency, State Farm, Carroll Purdue, CVCC, and Columbus State University. Casey with a shot and a miss. Thought about the 3, bounce pass inside to Zellner. Gets ripped away there by BT. Johnson dribbles with the left hand for the screen. Off, and they don't. And Lee Scott Academy comes roaring back and take a 3-point lead after 1. As you're watching high school basketball on Rivalry Night here on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. We'll be back after this.
In 2025, we're hammering down high prices at Glenn Smith Chevrolet in Opelika. New Chevy Silverado brand high-tech features, discounted up to $5,000 off. Enjoy the new vehicles on
Start of the second quarter here on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. Glenwood, Lee Scott. Over at Warren Beulah Gymnasium, Sumter County has an early 21-17 lead over the Carver Tigers. And we'll try to get a score on that Brookstone-Pacelli game. That is the Sumter County girls and the Carver girls. That's a battle for second place. Glenwood with the ball. Over to Johnson. Out of the inbounds play and ends up losing it out of bounds, but it was off of Lee Scott, so Glenwood will retain the possession. Inside to BT. No good. Rebounded by Claire Graham. Graham putting up a shot and scores. And Glenwood cuts it to 1. Here comes Kesey over to Yvette. Clark Yvette, good screen. Pull-up jumper off the glass, no good. Rebounded by Claire Graham. Grabs her 4th rebound of the game. Johnson, little crossover by Kesey. Splits 2 defenders and draws the foul. And Mimi. High school basketball here on Rivalry Day. Rivalry. Also partnering with CNAW2 News and Colin Scroggins as Johnson makes them both. Glenwood with a 1-point lead. Yvette over in the corner to Dunlap. Dunlap and stolen by Crisco, and then that's going to be a quick foul on Kesey. We're at the half over at the Land. Pacelli leads Brookstone 33-50. Over to Crisco. As Glenwood trying to go up tempo. And that's just a bad pass. Kesey with another steal. And Kesey in a block. And that was a clean block by Mimi Johnson. And that's going to go back to Glenwood. As that block was off of Lee Scott. Oh, and almost stolen by Yvette. They're pointing in the right direction for Glenwood. They'll get the ball back. Really tough on deep. Another jump ball. Good effort by Lucy Zellner on the jump ball. It will remain with the Gators. Yvette to Herndon. Back out to Yvette, thought about the 3. A pass inside. And here comes Johnson, the floor. Foul. But Kesey would have had an easy bucket off the. What an incredible defensive effort by the sophomore. And Lee Scott will have possession. Johnson takes a breather. Kesey. And we got a moving screen on Lee Scott. Turnovers, more bigger lead in this game. Stella gets a tip. Now over to Graham. Emerson White with the rebound, but they're going to call jump ball, and it's going to go back. Remember, these two to a 1-point lead for Lee Scott, or for Glenwood. Shot goes out of bounds. So the leading scorer for Glenwood is BT Brazil with 6 points, followed by Mimi Johnson with 4. Lee Scott back out to Kesey. Dunlap dribbles. Back out to Herndon. Herndon pull-up jumper off the back of the crossover dribble over to BT Brazil. Off the deflection, and they get the rebound back. And that's a little too high for BT Brazil, and it's going to go back to Lee Scott. So Glenwood has had their share of turnovers. We've had a low-scoring contest here in the first half. One of those games where every possession matters. And folks, that's the 7th turnover by Lee Scott. They have got to cut down on the turnovers and to go to the line for 2. We started this thing last Saturday with Carver Spencer. White makes the first. And then tomorrow we got Manchester, Harris County, rivalry renewed. These two teams stopped playing each other in football 20 years in the making. They finally played this year. They took about a 20-year break. Same with basketball. White misses the second, trying to go. Crisco splitting the defenders, puts up a shot and gets fouled. That's what you got to do, the hustle of getting the second chance points. But you got to make your foul shots. Glenwood is in a good position to try to get a little bit of a cushion against a very dangerous Lee Scott team that can score in bunches. Crisco mixes the first. And it rattles in and out, no good. And it's going to stay right here with the Lady Gators. To 39, and then they lost to Terrell Academy out of Dawson, 35-26. Over in the GIAA. Stolen by Graham. 8 turnovers for Lee Scott. Percent White, or no, that's Steppers. And we got another foul in the first half. Georgia Alabama Sports Live, please like the Facebook page and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We are also partnering with CNAW2 News and Colin Scroggins. Zivat back out to Herndon. Herndon, area play. Lee Scott 11-10 on the season, 2-0 in area play. Winner of this game will be in sole possession. It's going to stay right here with the Lady Gators. Crisco on the inbounds. White back to Crisco. Crisco dribbles with the left hand. Throws it to BT for a shot and scores. And BT Brazil was wide open, and she's got 8 points for the Lady Gators. And it's a 4-point lead for Glenwood. Johnson over to Brazil. Bobby Taylor over to Graham. Graham in the baseline. Bounce pass to Brazil. Brazil puts up a shot. And no good. Stella Henderson. Wow, so we got a number 12 Stella Henderson and a 9 rebounded by Clark Yvonne has got 6 points. And she has just got speed. She is a quick point guard. And that leads to transition buckets. Trailing by 2. Yvonne, jumper, and with 8 points. So a couple of sequences there, and Georgia Alabama Sports Live. No good, but it's rebounded by Herndon. Herndon over to Kesey. Kesey, as Herndon got a hand in there to force the jump ball. We got Lily Moody checking into the game. Lee Scott 3. And no good. Crisco being guarded by BT Brazil and scores. Lee, this has been a back and forth game. Clark Yvonne for 3 and banks it in, and Lee Scott with a 1-point lead. Clark Yvonne with 11 points. That's going to be taken by Moody, almost stolen. 1:13 left to go here in the first half. Inside to Brazil. Brazil back on top by 1. Yvonne rebounded by Moody. Less than a minute to go. Glenwood with a 1-point lead. Crisco can slow half. Crisco pivots, puts up a shot and scores off the glass. And Clara Crisco is going to go to the line for the 3-point play. What a move, splitting the defenders, drawing the foul. And Crisco can extend this Glenwood lead here in the first half. And she misses, and that's going to be rebounded by Zellner. 30 seconds. Yvonne, that's a foul on Graham. And that is only the 4th team foul. Clarkie Vaught with the ball. 11 points here in Graham. Crisco draws the foul, and Crisco will go to the line with 12.8 seconds here in the first half to try to make this a 4-point or even a 5-point lead. Is Glenwood 5 times last year and lost all 5. That is fresh on their minds. They played in the Border Wars Championship 2 times in the regular season, the area championship at Macon. You just got to let that one, it's left to go. You got to let that one slide. You got to let Lee Scott just take it all the way and try to get a shot off. Dunlap ends up missing, but maybe that's good strategy for PA like that. And she misses both. Moody with it, 10 seconds. Glenwood with the possession. Final possession in the first half. Crisco, 1.8 seconds to go. Sign is this. Oh, Lee Scott gets it. I thought it was going to be Glenwood's possession. And what? We had a pretty entertaining first half. Glenwood's brought to you by Zaxby's, Glenn Smith Chevrolet GMC, Gordy Eye Care, our social media. We are teaming up to provide 24/7 access to shows and sports programs. W on Facebook. Just search for Colin Scrock and our sports programming. Or you can at Georgia Alabama Sports Live. We are excited about this partnership, and it will bring more of everything you want to see on your timeline every day. CNAW2 News with Colin Scroggins and Georgia Alabama Sports Live. Live and local 24/7. All right, we're at the half. We'll be back here on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. It's Glenn.
This is my CVCC story. Class sizes were not too large. The professors in each class had time to talk. It was almost like a one-on-one experience. One of my daughters is a student at CVCC right now. She's going through the arts program. I've got another son who's right behind her who's about to graduate school, and he's already talking about going to CV, and he's ready for it. CVCC did prepare me for my career. They made sure you knew the subject before you walked out of the class, before you took the test. They dedicated 100% of themselves to it. It was a great experience, and I could say for anybody who's deciding or thinking about going into criminal justice, CVCC has got my vote all day long because they're on top of their game.
New Chevrolet or GMC side-by-side at Glenn Smith and Chevrolet and GMC 1500 trucks. Discounted up to $15,000 off or 0% financing. Plus, no payments till springtime. Here at Glenn Smith Chevrolet GMC in Opelika, get ready to smile.
Football is back, and the only thing that makes it better is some delicious food from Zaxby's. They're a proud sponsor of Georgia, Alabama, and I can tell you that everyone on this team loves their chicken. Get all the favorites, such as their signature chicken sandwich, or try the new chicken finger tacos with your favorite drink. From amazing salads, wings, chicken fingers, and some of the best drinks around, there isn't a better way to enjoy our broadcast without getting some fantastic meals from Zaxby's. Check out the 2 here in Phoenix City, one off Crawford Road and the other on US 80. Thank you again to Zaxby's for sponsoring Georgia Alabama Sports Live, and make sure you call them for all your catering and tailgating needs this football season. Georgia Alabama Sports Live is proud to partner with one of our presenting sponsors, Buffalo Rock. And without this partnership, it would be hard to be able to live stream all the different sporting events at high schools, colleges, and local professional teams every single week like we do. So we thank Buffalo Rock for their support of Georgia Alabama Sports Live. And next time you're watching a Georgia Alabama Sports Live broadcast, make sure you're drinking a nice, refreshing.
Even though I'm away at college, Kinetic Credit Union is in control of my accounts wherever I go. I can easily transfer money between internal and external accounts, get money faster by setting up recurring transfers, and I can find the nearest ATM or branch right from my phone. Plus, I can add my Kinetic cards to my phone's digital wallet and enjoy quick, secure, contactless payments. By the way, Mom, I need some more money.
Kinetic Credit Union, the energy for your dreams.
Brandon, I need some money too. Thank you so much to our newest sponsor, Kinetic Credit Union. I always love that commercial every time we go back from a break and see the college kid asking his mom for money. I'll pretty much ask him for money too. Now, we do appreciate Kinetic Credit Union, Alabama Power, Pepsi, Zaxby's, Glenn Smith Chevrolet GMC, Gordy Eye Care, which, by the way, Griff Gordy's right here in Phoenix City. And we also appreciate our supporting sponsors, Alex Quinney Allstate, Masterwall Incorporated, Terry Johnson Agency, State Farm Carroll Purdue, CVCC, and Columbus State University. We're at the half. Glenwood leads Lee Scott Academy 23-20, as this is a rivalry that goes all the way back to the AISA days. Now these two schools are in the AHSAA. They play in 3A Area 6, and both teams are 2-0 in the area. Taking a look at the standings. With both teams 2-0, the winner will be 3-0, and they will be in sole possession of first place. The Beulah Lady Bobcats are in third place. We got a chance to see them at the Border Wars. They are 2-3 in the area, 6-9 overall, and Dadeville has Glenwood's next two opponents. They will take on Dadeville. They will host Dadeville here, and then they will travel up to Dadeville to face Dadeville in that area. Christian Glenwood, as we have another version of the Border Wars here on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. Glenwood's going to get the ball up by 3. Wonder what Coach Harrison and Coach Purdue has been saying to their teams to try to make adjustments here in the second half. This has really been an evenly matched contest. You're just starting to see this Lee Scott team just improving just about every time they play Glenwood, as that is going to be a foul on Mimi Johnson. And Johnson is going to get ready to shoot her foul shots to try to extend this Glenwood lead. Yeah, when you play a team 5 times, Lee Scott actually had a lead in that championship game. They played Glenwood very tough, as Mimi Johnson makes the first. As we see the student section over there, the bleacher creature cheering on their Glenwood Gators. Johnson misses, but BT with a rebound off the glass, no good. And Dunlap comes up with a rebound. It's a 4-point lead for Glenwood. Here comes Dunlap. Yvonne fires a 3. No good, rebounded by Johnson. Mimi Johnson trying to break the press. Hits it. Johnson puts up a shot. Rebounded by Brazil, and she scores. BT Brazil with 14 points. She's got to have close to a double-double. Yvonne driving by Yvonne. Clark Yvonne with 13 points. Oh, and what a pass to Sutton Lewis. And it's a 4-0 run by Lee Scott. They're down by 2. Here comes Emerson White, puts up a shot. Rebounded by Graham. Back out to Crisco, kicks it around to Mimi Johnson for 3, and hits it! Mimi Johnson gives Glenwood a 5-point lead, and there's some miscommunication on that pass. And that is the 10th turnover by Lee Scott. It's going to go back to Glenwood with a 5-point lead. And you know this is a big game when you see WRBL's Jack Patterson in the building and WTVM's Mackenzie Collins in the building, as you can catch the highlights on WRBL Channel 3 and appreciate their coverage of the Chattahoochee Valley. No, it's going to be a foul on the floor. Crisco is going to inbounds it. Brazil, shot, it's all crossover. Top pivots. Yvonne being guarded by White. Driving the baseline. And despite scores Haynes Kesey with 4 points. She has scored the majority of the points. That's a tough assignment to have to guard Yvonne on the inbounds, and she'll end up getting the foul drawn as Clara Crisco draws that foul. And Yvonne's going to go to the line for 2. You're just seeing a special offensive player that continues to improve as she makes the first. But where is the rest of the scoring going to come from? She misses the second. Dunlap tries to save it. Emerson White comes up with it, and Glenwood with the ball, up by 6. Here comes Johnson. Johnson driving, back, White, corner 3, and hits the 3! Emerson White gives Glenwood their largest lead of the game. They're up by 9. Yvonne is going to get the ball back. Glenwood was up by long here in the third quarter. Brazil over to Crisco. Johnson at the logo. Shot, and Bobby Taylor Brazil with 18 points and the largest lead of the game. Timeout, Lee Scott. Right now at this time, we want to thank our social media partner, CNAW2 News and Colin Scroggins, as Georgia, Alabama, to provide 24/7 access to our Georgia Alabama Sports Live coverage and all of our coaches shows and sports programming on the CNAW News channel. You can easily find CNAW on Facebook. Just search for Colin Scroggins or CNAW2 News, and you'll have access to both local news and our sports programming, or you can always get it directly right here on our Facebook page, and it will bring more of everything you want to see on your timeline every day. CNAW2 News with Colin Scroggins and Georgia Alabama Sports Live, live and local 24/7. Scott, winner of this game, will go to 3-0 in the area and be in sole possession of first place. Herndon over to Yvonne in the corner. Yvonne for the corner 3, rebounded by Brazil. Nope, BB Johnson comes up with it. Now here comes Crisco. Clara Crisco driving, puts up a shot, and scores! Count the bucket on the foul. Clara Crisco gonna go to the line for the 3-point play. What a move and a way to finish. And Glenwood is rolling here in the third quarter. Elner checking into the game, so is Haynes Kesey and Camden Cleveland. I tell you, Coach Harrison has not taken Clark Yvonne out of this game. She has played the whole game. And Lee Scott, they're going to need her, but they're going to need somebody else to step up. Because Clark Yvonne has got 14 points and is the leading scorer for Lee Scott. Spin move. Yvonne scores and draws the foul. And at this point, Clark Yvonne is saying, you know what? I'm going to try to take over this game. What a move by Clark Yvonne. And she will go to the line for the N1. And she scores. Glenwood up by 11. Johnson misses. Cam Cleveland with a rebound. And Lee Scott really needed that stop, because you got to get back in this game. Lee Scott could easily have let this game slip away down by 13. Now they could climb back into this game. Timeout. We'll take her.
My name is CVCC with my associates in medical assistant, and I received my certification. Clinicals helped tremendously. I started looking at scholarships, and the ambassador scholarship was interesting to me because you did events to earn your scholarship and you meet people. Scholarships, the teachers, the small stuff that you can't get at a university.
Glenwood leading Lee Scott Academy by trying to get Dunlap. That is their 5th team foul. This is going to put Lee Scott can get back into this game. As Dunlap makes the first. And it's back to a 10-point game. He's also the head basketball coach of the Lee Scott Warriors. And Glenwood led by their AD, inductee into the Chattahoochee Valley Sports Hall of Fame for the 2025 class, as that is a travel by Mimi Johnson. They will have the on February point. Glenwood lead, Lee Scott with the ball. A little give and go to Clarky Vaught. Looked like that shot was altered. White, and they're just fighting for it, and that's what you love seeing in a round. The court's going to go down to 9. Find a way to regroup. Casey misses them both. And Bobby Taylor Brazil, I believe that's a double-double for Johnson. Falling on the floor, staying right here. Got tipped by Lee Scott. It's going to stay here with the Lady Gators. So BT's got 18 points. She's leading Glenwood in scoring. Over to BT. And she got it blocked by Dunlap. So that's going to be a foul on Bobby Taylor Brazil. And I'm surprised they didn't call a technical because she grabbed the arm of Dunlap going up for the rebound. And you really can't let the emotions get the best of you, especially in a rivalry game. I mean, you're up by 9. You just need to relax, keep doing what you're doing. Don't game away up by 13. But this Lee Scott as Lucy Zellner to the line for 2. Zellner misses, really needs a bucket here just to give him a little bit of breathing room. Crisco, guarded by Yvonne. Passes to Brazil. Brazil, little give and go to White. Claire drives the baseline, back out to White. Emerson White, back to Graham. Claire Graham, bounce pass inside to Johnson, and almost lost it, but we got a foul on Lee Scott. As you're watching high school basketball, this is rivalry night here on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. Richard Holdridge, Brandon Strobel. Here, Glenwood takes advance. Over to Crisco. And because of the way that Lee Scott plays, no lead is safe. Because they are to Emerson White, misses. And then he just got bodies flying. That's going to be, trying to say that they didn't call a foul there. Would have been a foul on Glenwood, and Lee Scott would be shooting foul shots. Oh, this is the intensity. Lucy Zellner, Mimi Johnson getting tied up. There is no love lost between these two teams. And here at Georgia Alabama, we called the 5 games last year. 4 of them in the Border Wars, 2 for the girls, 2 for the boys. We know how intense this rivalry is, not just in basketball, but for all sports. And another block effort. It wasn't quite on the defensive side and the offensive side. It's back to a 13-point lead. That's rebounder on their largest lead of the game. Johnson over to Henderson, splitting the defender. Stella Henderson puts up a shot, and it's going to be blocked. And now here comes Herndon, 30 seconds left to go here in the third. Yvonne, Clark Yvonne, 17 points. Herndon fires a wide open 3. It's going to be rebounded by Graham. And now Glenwood can hold for the final shot here in the third. And to beat Team Brazil off the glass. 1. Not enough time to get a shot off. And 1 more quarter to go. The Glenwood Lady Gators lead Lee Scott by a score of 43-30. We'll be back after this here on Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
In 2025, we're hammering down high prices at Glenn Smith Chevrolet in a brand new 2025 Chevy Equinox, the compact SUV with high payments for $112.
Here on Georgia Alabama Sports Live, as this game is presented by Zaxby's, Glenn Smith Chevrolet GMC, Pepsi. Also a special shout out to now with local sports. Be sure to follow CNAW 2 News. 43-30, Johnson. Lee Scott with 17, and she's got the basketball to start the 4th. Coming up next, we got the Glenwood boys and the Lee Scott boys. We got a fantastic guard matchup between Swag and Hayden Harper. Cannot wait for that guard matchup. Zivat. Bounce pass. Stolen by White. And that's going to be a jump ball because Lee Scott was able to get an arm in there. And I'll tell you, Emerson White has been playing with some intensity in this game. A three-star athlete here at Glenwood, plays on the volleyball team, plays on the softball field. So she's just giving it her all here, defensively and offensively, as she puts it off the glass. Emerson White with 6 points. Largest lead of the game for the Gators. Yvonne with some room. Over to Dunlap. Dunlap for 3. Top of the backboard. It's going to stay right here with Lee Scott. And nothing's coming easy for Lee Scott. Glenwood is making these shots difficult. They're contested shots. Glenwood has the hand in the face. It's been very difficult. As Riley over to Yvonne. Yvonne puts up a shot, rattles in and out, gets her own rebound. And Crisco comes up with the rebound. Crisco over to Moody, inside to BT. BT and scores! The friendly roll, and Bobby Taylor Brazil with 22 points. And it's a 17-point lead. Yvonne misses. Was rebounded by Moody. Johnson. Yvonne not giving up on the play, and we're going to get a jump ball, and it's going to go to Lee Scott. 6:26 left to go here in this game. As the Glenwood Lady Gators trying to pick up their 13th win of the season. They will play Dadeville tomorrow afternoon right here at the pit. Another area contest. Yvonne puts up a shot, rattles in and out. I tell you, a tough break for Clark Yvonne. That shot, they have been good looks, and draws the foul. We've got a lot of fans that are matchup. Kind of reminds me of my old high school days, where you couldn't find an empty seat in the gym and everybody was standing on the wall. And Lily Moody will go to the line for the three-point play. Glenwood can make it a 20-point lead. And lost by Moody. Another turnover. Takes a toll, Lee Scott. Pass to Yvonne, up and in. And Lee Scott is not finished yet. Clark Yvonne with 19 points. Lily Moody, and a pass to BT up and in. Glenwood back up by 19. Yvonne, no good in this game. And of course, I mean, good sportsmanship there, trying to pick her up. Refs are saying that was in the motion of shooting. So Mimi Johnson is going to go to the line for 2. And she misses. Busy night in the Chattahoochee Valley. Central playing Auburn, Smith Station playing Opelika, Russell County playing Valley. And Mimi Johnson's got 11, and it's a 20-point lead for Glenwood. Spin move, Yvonne scores, and Clark Yvonne with 21 points. But it's just not enough tonight. As Mimi Johnson throws up a wild shot, and Glenwood up by 18, 4 minutes to go. But we've seen on Georgia Alabama Sports Live a team down by 14 almost win a game with 4 minutes to go. So it is never over. I made that mistake once already with that Sumter County. Glenwood has got to feel confident right now with the ball up by 18. They could just take time off the clock, especially with no shot clock. Just take time off the clock. Remember, you got a game tomorrow afternoon against an area opponent. And I know that that team is 1-15, but it's still an area opponent. You got to save some energy for that. By the way, these two teams will meet at Lee Scott Monday, January the 27th. We are going to try to make it up there for that game. BT, spin move, passes. Broken up by Yvonne. That's going to go back to Lee Scott. With 3:54 left to go. And Dunlap shoots a three and misses, and rebounded by Claire Graham. And Glenwood could just focus on taking up time off this clock. Coach Purdue's telling Claire Crisco to go ahead and call a timeout. So with 3:32 left to go here in this game, Glenwood leads Lee Scott Academy 52-34. As we'll be back after this on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. .332 left to go here in this game. Glenwood up by 18 against their rival Lee Scott, a team that they defeated 5 times last year. This game was close in the first half. Glenwood had a 3-point lead. But the halftime adjustments, dominant second half performance. Crisco up, no good. Dunlap with a rebound, and now Clark Yvonne. Riley Fields misses. Glenwood fans piling into the gymnasium as they get ready for the boys matchup. That should be coming up in about 15 minutes after this game. Henderson, what a move. Henderson off the glass, no good. And Lee Scott, the team, as Cleveland misses, but Clark Yvonne's going to need help. She's going to have to get her teammates involved. She had 21 points. You got to find somebody else that can get some scoring because you can't do it all by yourself. And fatigue is starting to wear on her in the second half. She had some missed shots. But yeah, she has just been a fantastic player. And there's a little collision by Emerson White and Clark Yvonne. And that's a tough assignment by Emerson White, that she has to guard Yvonne. But she has given it her all on defense as well. Fouls out. She had the tough assignment of guarding Clark. She leaves with 6 points. But most importantly, that defensive effort on Yvonne. Dunlap. Over to Herndon. Bounce pass inside to Cleveland. Cleveland, and it looks like there's a lid cold here in this second half. Over to Brazil. Brazil's gonna shoot a three and miss. But a good rebound by Clara Crisco. Right place, right time. And that's just fatigue by Lee Scott, just failing to box out. Little bump before the shot off a non-shooting foul underneath the basket. And that's the 4th foul on Clara Crisco. We got the 8th grader, Sutton Lewis, coming in. Also Lucy Zellner. Dunlap will inbound it. Back over to Zellner. Almost stolen. Herndon. Bounce pass, stolen by Crisco. And Yvonne with a little ticky-tack foul. She tried to pull a Nick Anderson on Michael Jordan in the 1995 NBA playoffs. They try to get from behind her to try to go for the steal. Moody over to Crisco. 1:30. Crisco, Brazil. Inside, and a traveling violation on Henderson. And with these couple of possessions, maybe could cut it to 10, and then the box score will look a little. Nice pass inside. Glenwood could just. Henderson over to Moody. Coach Purdue still got some starters out there. And in a rivalry game, that's the right call. To get your best players out there and let them play the whole game. Well, there is no question about it. And Brandon, I'm going to go ahead and announce it here. Is Bobby Taylor Brazil, who had. So congratulations to Bobby Taylor Brazil. It's 56-38. Yvonne for 3 and hits it. And Clark Yvonne with 26 points. And it is 56-41. Kind of made it interesting, but this was all dominated by Glenwood in the second half. I know the boys are getting ready to. And Crisco makes them both. 58-41. Yvonne taking it across the timeline, shoots a 3, and scores, and she had 29 points. I mean, they're going to give her on the stat sheet. Defeated in area play to go to 3-0. They knock off their longtime rival, Lee Scott Academy, 58-44, and they go to 13-6, 3-0 in area play. Lee Scott Academy goes to at the 21st of January. Coming up next, Alabama Sports Live.
Are you Silverado and GMC Sierra side by side at Glenn Smith in Opelika, Alabama? Truck for Smith Chevrolet GMC in Opelika. Get ready to smile.
Class sizes were not too large. The professors in each class had time to talk. It was almost like a one-on-one experience. One of my daughters is a student at CVCC right now. She's going through the arts program. I've got another son who's right behind her who's about to graduate school, and he's already talking about going to CV. My career. They made sure you knew the subject before you walked out of the class, before you took the test. They did it for anybody who's deciding or thinking about going into criminal justice. CVCC has got my vote all day long because they're on top of their game.
Georgia Alabama Sports Live wants to say thank you to one of our presenting sponsors, Buffalo Rock, and their partnership with everything that we do. And without businesses like Buffalo Rock, we wouldn't be able to go cover softball and professional. So thank you to those businesses that support us, and specifically Buffalo Rock. And next time you're watching it with a nice, refreshing sorry. The best lemon lime soda around. Thank you to Sorry and Buffalo Rock for our partnership on Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
The boys in the Lee Scott Academy. This is a fierce story night on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. Richard Holdridge here on the broadcast, along with Brandon Schwobel. And one thing to look out for, Lee Scott Academy. They come into this game, the area association poll that came out. Glenwood has got some place in the area. In part to their season.
Number 2, Levi Pender.
As they come into the 15-5 record, and they are led by, as he's averaging 14.6 points a game, Mason McCrane averaging 14.5 and 8 points a game. We will also see a lot of Tyler Sykes in the post. He's averaging 11.3 points a game. Levi Pender averaging 11.3 points a game. So the starting five all in double figures for Glenwood. Jadarian Holloway, Levi Pender, Lee Scott Academy. They are led by their junior 18.4 points a game. And bearing off, and we are underway here at the pit as Glenwood wins the tip. It is taken by Swag on the right wing. Back over to Sykes, left wing. Looking for somebody, bounce past the pin. And hits it! Harper had a fantastic border wars against Chatco with 30 points. Bounce pass, Barrett Cook in the corner, and answers right back with a three of his own. And Swag here, Mason McCrane trying to find a teammate. Gives it over to Swag, top of the key. Swag driving to his left, comes up short, rebounded by Harper. Harper almost got it tipped away. Harper puts up a shot and gets his own rebound. Back out to Haley, misses a three, and Tyler Sykes comes up with a rebound over to the 8th grade sensation, Braylon Alexander, all the way to the rack and draws a foul. Looks like he was shot out of a cannon. And Braylon Alexander will go to the line for two. Correction, it will be now it is going to be, as Coach Perdue says, that was a shooting foul. So Braylon Alexander will go to the line for two. So the season series last year, Glenwood was 0-3 against Lee Scott. They did play Lee Scott in the area, but Hayden Harper was not in the game. He was injured. Team. Alex comes up with a rebound, and here comes Harper. Alexander is on Harper. Bounce pass to Barrett Cook. Cook driving the baseline, spin move. Back out to Harper. Emma, Haley. Over to Wright, Parker Wright, no good, rebounded by Mason McCrane. Two teams are just gonna trade baskets, get defensive stop. Foul on Lee Scott. That's going to be on Parker Wright. Sykes, and he ended up traveling. Thought that was going to be a bucket for Tyler Sykes, and that fires up the Lee Scott fans that made the trip all the way down here from Auburn. Both teams first year in the AHSAA, which we get to see those matchups. Has Barrett Cook a little floater and scores, and Barrett Cook has got 5 points. And that is going to be a turn. Glenwood's loose ball out there because every possession in this game is critical. Braylon Alexander inside of McCrane. McCrane posting up. Are they calling that a foul on Lee Scott? Yes, yes they are, and I know that Coach Johnson can't believe it. Sub Cord Zellner is going to come in for Parker Wright. He's going to sit with 2 fouls. And Swag is going to inbounds it. Little too much, but gets his own rebound. Tyler Sykes. Lee Scott comes up with a rebound. All the way to the rack. That's an offensive foul. What a job there by Levi Pender. And that's a 4-point swing because Glenwood could have went up down by 4. But now they're only down by 2 with the ball. Court press. Alexander trying to break that press. Spin move. Inside, Barrett Cook thought about the 3. That ball, which happens maybe once every 10 years, it's a jump ball. I would like to find out from a random stat guy, how many times does a ball get stuck and wedged in the backboard? That was a good move there by Gord Zellner, but it's out of bounds. His foot was on the line. And Glenwood, by the way, their last loss was on that buzzer beater by Champ Simpson. Braylon Alexander, that's another foul. That's going to be a foul on Parks Myers. Is that his second foul? That might be Parks Myers' second foul. Now Coach Johnson is going to bring some subs in. William Lyles, Chapman Harris, sitting for Cook and Parks Myers. Alexander going to the line. That's already 5 team fouls for Lee Scott. Braylon Alexander makes the first. Fantastic triple header tonight. It's rivalry night here on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. Alexander makes them both. It's all knotted up at 5. These two back out to Lyles. Harper with it, top of the key, being guarded by Alexander. Harper driving the baseline. Haley, Myers. Nice pass to Lyles. Lyles lets a 3 fly. No good, rebounded by Swag. Here comes Jadarian Holloway all the way to the rack, and no good. And that is off of Lee Scott as Chapman Harris touched it last. Gun style of Pikes. Swag, left wing. The showcase guard matchup of the night. But Coach Purdue has Braylon Alexander on Hayden Harper defensively. Over to Alexander. So far, all 5 starters have been playing all the minutes here in the first. Back over to Pender. Pender driving the baseline. Pender back out to Sykes. Remember, Pender did not 3. Back. Lee Scott just took a bad angle on him. No look pass. Tyler Sykes for 3. No good. Mason McCrane with the off 2. And now we can start hearing the Lee Scott fans. And that is the most entertaining part of my job. This is what I love about Rivalry Weekend. It's probably this way at Pacelli with Brookstone and Pacelli. McCrane misses. Lyles back out to Harris. Lyles fires a three, and he airmails it. And he gets over to Swag. Swag with some open space, splitting the defenders, and puts up a reverse layup for the shot. Jadarian Holloway with 5 points. Glenwood. Harper, top of the key, now guarded by Swagger. Lyles, top of the key to Wyatt Watley. Myers, nope, they're just swinging it around. Here comes Hayden Harper. Harper fires a three. Back of the iron, no good. Big rebound by Mason McCrane, and here comes the Gators. Alexander bounce pass to Swag and scores! What a pass by Braylon Alexander. Jadarian Holloway with 7 points. And Glenwood with a 4-point lead. Here comes a three-pointer, lets one fly, and Wyatt Watley was going for the steal. That is only Glenwood's second team foul here in the quarter. This has been a wildly entertaining game. So far, scoreless. Back over to Harper by Levi Pender. Pender all the way to the rack and fouled. Are they calling this a shooting foul? No, they're going to take it underneath the basket. I don't know about that, but we'll go ahead and take it. Pump fakes, jumper, short. Harper with the rebound. Back three from behind the arc, stolen by Parks Myers. And Myers is going to shoot a three and hits. And Lee Scott trails by 1. Chapman Harris with a big three-pointer off the steal. Glenwood leads 9-8. Here comes Alexander all the way to the rack and scores. With a 3-point lead, 12 seconds. Lyles. You got Chapman Harris. Back out to Watley. Right at the buzz quarter. But Wyatt Watley is going to go to the line for 2. Go and like the Facebook page and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We have just got a sensational night of rivalry games all across the Chattahoochee Valley. County Carver. Mike Peacock on the call for Pacelli Brookstone. We got White. By the way, we are Kinetic Credit Union and Gordy Eye Care. It's Watley to the line. And he misses the first. And they did put 0.3 seconds back on the clock. I know that we don't have a score that says 0.3. Our scoreboard does not say that, but just to let everybody know out there, there is 0.3 seconds on the clock. Watley makes 1 of 2, and that's not going to be enough time for a catch and shoot, especially when you got to go the full length of the court. All right, Glenwood up by 2 against Lee Scott after 1. We'll be back after this here on Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
In 2025, we're hammering down high prices at used vehicles on the lot or on the way.
That's awesome. Okay. Leads Lee Scott 11-9. As we want to thank our social media partner, Colin Scroggins and CNAW2 News. We are teaming up to provide 24/7 access to our Georgia Alabama Sports Live coverage, and all of our coach find CNAW on Facebook. Just search for sport programming, or you can always get it directly right here on our Facebook and YouTube channel. Just search for Only Colga, as they do a fantastic job covering every event in the Chattahoochee Valley. Only Colga in and around the Fountain City. Glenwood up by 2 with 5. And here comes pass over to Tyler Sykes. Pass. And Glenwood with a 4-point lead. There's Parks Myers for 3 and hits it. Now, Chapman Harris for 3, rather. And he's got 6 points. He just let 2 threes fly. Pender trying to answer back. Glenwood. Scott team, they like to shoot the 3. We saw them in the Border Wars. They ended up taking on Chatko and Morgan. Over to Alexander in the corner. Nice pump fake. And pulled down by Brooks Zachary for his second. He's a dangerous shooter. You cannot leave him wide open. Chapman Harris will make you pay. And when you got a special offensive player like Hayden Harper, the defense will collapse to Hayden Harper. When Ann scores, and Glenwood back up by 3. And looks like McCrane altered that shot. Line. Way to the rack and scores. And I know that's got to be frustrating. This is a special player that is just having a tough first half that have chipped in. Barrett Cook, he's got a 3. He's got 5 points. Chapman Harris with 6 points. And I'll tell you what, that's got to be frustrating by Hayden Harper. I mean, we saw him score 30 points in this gymnasium at the Border War. We've seen him play. He is a special player. And he makes 1 of 2. 17-13. Swag over to Sykes. Thought about the 3, now back over to Swag. McCrane trying to get the screen. That's going to be a moving screen on Mason McCrane. Yeah, he did pivot and go a different direction. And Lee Scott's going to get the ball. There's going to be a foul. That's going to be on. And the reaction from their reaction has just been priceless. You can see it over there. The Swag ends up making it. He's in double figures. He's got 10 points. Glenwood up by 5. As Lee Scott is the 3rd ranked team in 3A. As Swag makes them both. According to the Alabama Writers Association, they are 19-3, ranked 3rd in the state for all 3A teams. Harper fires a 3 and hits it, and finally Hayden Harper gets on the board. And I know that he needed that one. Here come Alexander, back over to Swag. Jadarian Holloway looking for the screen for River Baker, over to Pender now. Back out to Baker. Baker, clock in Alabama with it. Nice pass inside and scores as Brooks Zachary getting on the board, and Lee Scott trails by 1. Here comes Swag. Leading all scores with 11 points. Back over to Swag. It's going to be rebounded by Chapman Harris. And Lee Scott can take a lead. Touch. Zach Harper gets going. He can light the court on fire, and Lee Scott with a 2-point lead. On back-to-back 3s by Hayden Harper. We got a timeout on the floor.
Credit union is still the best way for me to stay connected here and at home. With the Kinetic mobile app, I have control by setting up recurring transfers, and I can find the nearest ATM or branch right from my phone. Plus, I can add my Kinetic cards to my phone's digital wallet and
Kinetic Credit Union, the energy for your dreams.
We are back here at Glenwood. Lee Scott with a 2-point lead, thanks to Lee Scott with 7 points. Leading scorer for Glenwood is Jadarian Holloway with 11. And here comes Braylon Alexander. The 8th grader takes it across the time. Harris. Harper behind the back. Hayden Harper lost the handles. And he gets it right back. Puts up a shot and gets fouled. And look at him slide on the court. And you can tell, and he has a chance to go to the line for the N1. Run. It's a 5-point lead for Lee Scott. Over to Allen there for Coach Purdue. Coach Johnson had to go to his bench early. Several players got into foul trouble, including Parks Myers. Sykes with it. Alexander, but it's taken by Hayden Harper. Here comes Harper. Hayden Harper's got 9 points. Split defenders, puts up play. Run by Lee Scott. Coach Johnson gonna try to get Wyatt Watley into the next dead ball. And Alexander makes the first. These two teams, well, they're gonna play on Monday, January the 20th, up at Lee Scott. We were there last year. These two teams played each other 3 times last year. twice in the regular season and once at Macon East for the area champ. They defeated Bessemer Academy last year. That was a little too much by Grayson Haley. And here come the Gators for the Sykes. Tyler Sykes, Pender in the corner. And misses. Harper with another rebound. Pass, corner three. Rattles in and out for William Lyles. But a great rebound by Wyatt Watley. Trying to save it. And it's going to go back to Glenwood as Swag ends up coming up. Tino run by Lee Scott was Hayden Harper just getting hot. Top of the key and hits the three-pointer. Back to a 2-point lead for Lee Scott. Comes in three and he misses. Oh wow, what a play by William Lyles and Harper. I would believe it. I'd be like, yeah, of course Hayden Harper. Falling backwards, getting fouled and still making the shot. And Lyles, 15 left to go here in the half. Swag. That is only their 4th team foul. 3 area 6 along with Beulah and Dadeville. Sykes for 3. Comes up lead. Just the effort and energy. And miss not trying to extend this. Zachary. Swag. Passes it to McCrane. McCrane goes up and gets hacked. And McCrane's going to give Glenwood the defensive stopper on him. Because at this point, right now, Hayden Harper has got 11 points. Chapman Harris with 6, and then Barrett Cook with 5, but that was early on in the game. And he misses. And then he'll for the final shot here in the first half. Here comes Swag, 9 seconds. Passes it to Clarity. Bounce pass to Pender, back out to Sykes. Sykes for 3. Misses. McCrane with a rebound. 2 seconds, 1. And McCrane misses the shot. And what a comeback by Lee Scott Academy as they lead Glenwood 30-24 at the half with 14 points. Sponsors, Alex Quinney Allstate, Farm Carroll Purdue, CVCC, and special thanks to our social media partner, Colin Scroggins and CNAW2 News. As CNAW2 News and Colin Scroggins are teaming up with Georgia Alabama Sports Live to provide 24/7 access to our Georgia Alabama Sports Live coverage and to all of our coaches' shows and sports programming. Timeline every day. CNAW2 News with Colin Scroggins and Georgia Alabama Sports Live. What a team. All right, we'll be back here with the second half on Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
Are you looking for a great deal on a powerful new Chevrolet or GMC full-size truck? Check them out. Chevy Silverado and GMC Sierra side by side at Glenn Smith in Opelika, Alabama. Take your choice. A brand new $1,000 off. Here at Glenn Smith Chevrolet GMC in Opelika, get ready to smile.
Connected here, and I can easily transfer. I can find the nearest ATM or branch right from my phone. Plus, I can add my Kinetic cards to my phone's digital wallet and enjoy quick, secure, contactless payments. By the way, Mom.
My name is Sergeant Jason Swells, and this is my CVCC story. Class sizes were not too large. The professors in each class had time to talk. It was almost like a one-on-one experience. One of my daughters is a student at CVCC right now. She's going through the arts program. I've got another son who's right behind her who's about to graduate school, and he's already talking about going to CV, and he's ready for it. CVCC did prepare for a career. They made sure you knew the subject before you walked out of the class, before you took the test. They dedicated 100% of themselves to it. It was a great experience, and I could say for anybody who's deciding or thinking about going into criminal justice, CVCC got my vote all day long because they
Buffalo Rock. And without this part at Hank and next, delicious. Thank you to Buffalo. What makes it better is some delicious food from Zaxby's. They're a proud sponsor of Georgia Alabama Sports Live. And I can tell you that everyone on this team loves their chicken. Get all the favorites, such as their signature chicken sandwich, or try the new chicken finger tacos with your favorite drink. From amazing salads, wings, chicken fingers, and some of the best drinks around, there isn't a better way to enjoy our broadcast without getting some fantastic meals from Zaxby's. Check out Georgia Alabama Sports Live and make sure you call them for all your catering and
We're at the half here at Glenwood as Lee Scott leads 30-24. As your leading scorer for Lee Scott Academy is Hayden Harper with 13 points. You have Jadarian Holloway, the leading scorer for Glenwood. Lee Scott went on a 13-0 run, and it was a couple of three-pointers by Hayden Harper, a couple of steals, a couple of transition buckets. And the leading scorer for Lee Scott, who averages 19.4 points a game, he started to get going in that second quarter, and that has really been the difference. But we'll get ready to start the second half for the girls. Earlier today, we had Pacelli, ended up defeating Brookstone. Right now, Sumter County is leading Carver boys, and that is at the half. We got Pacelli leading Brookstone. Fantastic triple header tonight on Rivalry night for Manchester, Harris County, and I'll be on the call for Marion County, Chatco. Over to Hayden Harper. Harper trying to split the defender and gets it blocked by Mason McCrane. What a block there, and Glenwood really needs something to shift the momentum in this game. Here comes Swag being guarded by Harper. That's the guard matchup everybody wanted to see. Bounce pass over to Sykes. Thought about the three, back out to Pender. Levi Pender, Swag, top of the key. Keeps the dribble alive. Now he resets it, bounce pass over to Pender. Right, looking for the screen. Now he's going to give it to Sykes. Trying to get something going here. Bounce pass to Sykes. Sykes, little yellow. Sykes will go to the line for two. Here's offensive lineman for Coach Media Day on January the 26th at CVCC. Sykes misses, but McCrane trying to save it, and he doesn't. He goes into the seats. And it's going to go. And back in the game is Parks Myers playing with two fouls. There's Hayden Harper for three, and he misses. And Haley, and that's going to be rebounded and scored by Parker Wright. But it's back to a 7-point lead for Lee Scott. Here's Tyler Sykes. Stars have been playing most of the first half. They only had one player off the bench. That was River Baker. Here comes Swag. Swag with 16 points. And Glenwood down by 5. Here's Hayden Harper. Thought about the three. And he could shoot it from there. And And you can't do anything about that. Braylon Alexander's putting his hands up like, I did my best, because Hayden Harper, deadly from behind the arc. And he's got 16 points. And Lee Scott up by 8. Inside of McCrane. Little give and go to Sykes. Back out to Pinder. Alexander splitting the defenders. Nice pass to McCrane and off the glass and in. And here comes Hayden Harper all the way to the rack and a little too strong. Sykes, Pinder, and scores. And now the Chana defense down by 4. And a foul. And you just feel the intensity between these two schools who 2 years ago they met in the Final Four. Glenwood won on a buzzer beater, beat Macon East on a buzzer beater to win the AISA championship. Last year they battled injuries, lost to Bessemer Academy in the Final Four. And Lee Scott, in these two schools are in the AHSAA, and Lee Scott has had a very impressive 19-3 record, and they are ranked number 3. Misses both, but Barrett Cook comes up with a rebound, and then that's a traveling violation. Parks Myers took too many steps, and Glenwood, down by 4, going to get the ball back. Glenwood making some adjustments here. Trying to get back in this game. Tyler Sykes, corner 3, and hits the three-pointer. And Glenwood trails by 1. Cook, he's trapped. Back out to Parker Wright. He can get going too. He's got 4 points. And here's Alexander, a little floater, and hits it. Little floater by the 8th grader. And what do we got, a technical foul? We might have a technical foul for a player maybe slapping the floor. If that's on Parker Wright, that's his 3rd. That could be Parker Wright's 3rd foul. The refs are talking it over with Coach Johnson. By the way, you think this rivalry is intense in basketball. It's the same for football, for volleyball, base. They do not like each other. Harper over to Parker Wright, playing with the 2 fouls. Haley, Barrett Cook for 3. No good. Rebounded by Parker Wright, and Wright with a little reverse layup, and Mason McCrane comes up with a rebound. And here comes Levi Pinder. He's got to watch out for the steal. He had 2 defenders that almost took the ball away from him. Now here comes Swag. Jadarian Holloway with 16 points. Pinder driving the baseline, and Pinder gets fouled. And again, the Lee Scott players throwing the hands up like, where's the foul? Well, Levi Pinder has a chance here. Here with 3:49 left to go in the 3rd. And Pinder, Levi Pinder, Wright, and Parks Myers is going to take a seat on the bench. This team, they do have, I'm looking at their roster, they got 1 senior. That's Parker Wright. Everybody else is a junior and a sophomore. Pinder makes them both, and Glenwood retakes the lead. He's got 17 points. Spin move. Haley lost it. Lee Scott led by as many as 8. And Glenwood has regained the lead. Glenwood is led by as many as 2 teams. We're going to trim the baseline. Long pass to the opposite side of the court to Sykes. Swings it over to Pinder. Levi Pinder over to Alexander in the corner. Driving the baseline, puts up a floater, and that hit the backboard, and Lee Scott comes up with the ball. Here's Lyles. There's Will Chapman Harris for 3, and that's his 3rd, and he will swag. Bounce pass inside of Sykes, spin move. Back out to Alexander. Alexander for 3, misses, and what a player, 20 points for the junior sensation. It's back to a 5-point lead for Lee Scott. Here comes Pinder driving the baseline. Got it tipped, stolen. Here come the Warriors. Flag. And Haley's going. Glenwood was 0-3 against Lee Scott Academy last year. Both teams in their final year in the AISA. As Haley makes that one. These two teams will play Monday, January the 27th up at Lee Scott. Haley misses. It's a 6-point lead for Lee Scott. Here comes Swag. This game has lived up to the hype. Not an empty seat in this gymnasium. Standing room only. Here comes Swag. Passes and lost it to Chapman Harris. It's a 3-on-1 and Harris scores easily. And we got a timeout. As Lee Scott back to an 8-point lead. We'll be back after this on Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
In 2025, we're hammering down high prices at Glenn Smith Chevrolet in Opelika. New Chevy Silverado 4x4 crew cabs, discounted up to $12,000 off. Brand new 2025 Chevy Equinox, the compact SUV with high-tech features, discounted up to $5,000 off. Enjoy the new year with no payments for 120 days. Choose from over 500 new and used vehicles on the lot or on the way. GlennSmith.com. Get ready to smile.
Welcome back here to Glenwood, Lee Scott Academy. They're back up by 8. They were down by 1 here in the third, but it was the hot shooting of Chapman Harris with a 3-pointer, and then he had a transition bucket. He has got 11 points off the bench for Lee Scott. And that's a kick ball by Hayden Harper. Lee Scott Academy, 19-3 overall, 2-0 in the area. Sports Writers Association in 3A. Alexander back over to Swag. Swag bounce pass to Pender. Pender dribbling with the left hand, trying to split the defender. Back out to River Baker, kicks it over to Alexander. Passes to Sykes. Sykes gets his own rebound, pump fake, goes up and scores, count the bucket, and Tyler Sykes is gonna go to the line for the N1. Glenwood now trails by 6. And coming back into the game is Trey Clarity for River Baker. It looks like the strategy for Coach Purdue is just to give his starters just a little bit of a breather. He's had the majority of his starters on the floor. It's a 5-point lead, and Glenwood with the steal. Alexander driving the baseline. Alexander with the floater, scores! Braylon Alexander with 10 points, and Glenwood trails by 3. Look at the full court press. Hayden Harper. And a little tip in, no good, rebounded by Sykes. Glenwood down by 3. Here comes Swag. Double team. Pender puts up a shot. Coming up with it is William Lyles. Chapman Harris gets it swatted away. It's going to stay right here with Lee Scott with 29 seconds left to go here in the third. And Mason McCrane is going to come back into the game for Trey Clarity. Lee Scott is led by as many as 8. Glenwood is led by as many as 6. As Lyles fires a 3 and misses, and Swag comes up with a rebound. And here comes Glenwood. Jadarian Holloway scores! Swag with 19 points, and Glenwood trails by 1. That's tipped away. Back to the Warriors. The student section on feet. Lyles driving. And we got a foul on the floor. 0.4 seconds left to go. Lee Scott will inbounds it underneath the basket. Harper's got 20 points. Jadarian Holloway with 19 to try to extend this Lee Scott lead. And he does. And Grayson Haley coming into the game for Lee Scott. And Chapman Harris is going to sit on the bench. Lyles misses. Swag, Alexander, shot, up, oh, and he missed it. But we go to the fourth quarter where Lee Scott Academy leads Glenwood by 2. As you're watching Friday night high school basketball, it's rivalry night here on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. We'll be back after this.
My name is Quinteria Perry, and this is my CVCC story. I've graduated from CVCC with my associates in medical assistant, and I received my certification from CVCC. The training that I got from CVC and being prepared to come and do clinicals helped tremendously. I started looking at scholarships, and the ambassador scholarship was interesting to me because you did events to earn your scholarship and you meet people. I would recommend CVCC to anyone that asks because of the scholarships, the teachers, the small stuff that you can't get at a university.
Start of the fourth quarter here at Glenwood. Part of a rivalry night. We've got the number 3rd ranked team in Alabama for 3A, the Lee Scott Academy Warriors, with a 19-3 record, 2-0 in the area. Taking on the Glenwood Gators, coming in with a 15-5 record, 2-0 in the area. Winner of this game will have sole possession of first place in the area. And by the way, Glenwood plays tomorrow right back here at the pit, taking on Dadeville. Glenwood with the ball, down by 2. Over to Pender. Swag with it, trying to get by Harper. Swag gets it blocked, but Mason McCrane there, and that's going to be a foul on Parker Wright, and that's his 3rd foul. Parker Wright just trampled on top of Mason McCrane. And Coach Johnson's going to keep him in there with 3 fouls. I mean, it's the fourth quarter. Over to McCrane. Almost lost it, and he gets it swatted away. I just got the feeling this is going to go down to the wire. As this is a huge rivalry game. First year in the AHSAA for both teams. Alexander back over to Sykes. Would you get those matchups? You see Lee Scott taking on Lochapoka, Lynette, Notasulga, all the teams in the Auburn area. Someday they might play Auburn. As Alexander ends up losing it, it's stolen by Barrett Cook. Cook is just going to reset it. Cook has got a wide open 3, and he misses, but it's going to be rebounded by Haley. Haley pump fake, puts up a shot, gets his own rebound, blocked by McCrane. What a rejection by Mason McCrane. Here comes Swag. Holloway with a floater and scores! Jadarian trying to get the loose ball. Who's it off on? Wow. Easily been off of Glenwood. But Glenwood gets possession back. They got a chance to retake the lead here with 6:54. Lets it across the timeline. Looking for the screen. Got the double. Pender in the corner, back out to McCrane, and he lost it. Almost got his pocket picked. And now Swag almost gets the steal off Grayson Haley. And that's going to be a foul on Jadarian Holloway. Lee Scott with the ball. Hayden Harper got 20 points for Lee Scott. Above his scoring average. There's a corner 3 by Grayson Haley, and he misses. And falling down on the floor, getting that rebound was Mason McCrane. It's Glenwood just giving it their all tonight. So is Lee Scott. 2 fantastic teams in the AHSAA. There's Levi Pender for 3. No good. Rebounded by McCrane. Swag kicks it around to Sykes. Thought about the 3. Sykes driving the lane. Back out to Swag. Swag over to Sykes in the corner. Now Glenwood just trying to reset it. Lee Scott sticking to man-to-man. Here comes Jadarian Holloway with a floater, and he misses. Hayden Harper with a rebound. Harper on the fast break puts up a floater and scores. And Hayden Harper gives Lee Scott a 2-point lead. Pass over to Swag, a no-look pass to McCrane. Little spin move by Tyler Sykes, puts up a three and scores! Tyler Sykes put the spin move PlayStation joystick lead. Timeout on the floor. We'll take one too here on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. Back 5:26 left to go. Glenwood with a 1-point lead. Leading scorers for Glenwood, Jadarian Holloway with 21 points. Hayden Harper with 22. Rivalry matchup between these two AHSA, and there is not an empty seat. Hayden Harper with the ball, down by 1. Harper gives it over to Wright. Back out to Myers. Barrett Cook lets one fly. Misses, rebounded by Levi Pender. Those shots were falling for Cook in the first quarter. Pender, nice move off the glass. McCrane trying to go for the rebound. Haley comes up with it. And here comes Myers, little Euro step and scores. And Parks Myers gives Lee Scott a 1-point lead. And he lost it. Hayden Harper comes up with the steal. And Harper, oh, he missed a layup. It was a point-blank range layup for Hayden Harper, and he missed. Swag. Foul before the shot. When you've got an intense rivalry game like this, there is no love lost between these two teams. You got bragging rights on the line. You got school on Tuesday talking about, hey, did you know we beat who, our rival? Bragging rights. As Alexander will go to the line for 2. You got students at Lee Scott will come in school on Tuesday. Hey, did you see when we beat Glenwood over chest? I mean, this is what rivalry games are about. You're pumping your chest when you go back to school. And it is a celebration when you beat your rival. And guess what? We get to do this all over again up at Lee Scott's. Hostile environment and passionate fans. Glenwood fans are going to make that trip as well. Alexander makes them both, and Glenwood with a 1-point lead. Gives Lee Scott a 1-point lead. And Harris comes up with a steal. Chapman Harris gives it over to Harper. Harper thought about the 3. Haley back over to Harris. Harris over to Harper. Harper pump fake. Harper driving and scores. Hayden Harper with 24 points. And Lee Scott with a 3-point lead. Here comes Pender. Back over to Swag. Jadarian Holloway. Spin move. And gets it blocked. Pender back out to Alexander for 3. And hits it! We're tied at 55. Braylon Alexander with a big 3-pointer. Guarded by Alexander. Glenwood in the zone. Harper with a spin move and scores. He's got 26 points. This is a special player that's trying to take over this game. He knows how big this rivalry is. We saw him do this in the Border Wars against Chatco. The next 3:17, Hayden Harper is saying, hey, just grab onto me and I will take you to this victory. But Glenwood has got to respond after getting a bucket by Hayden Harper. They're down by 2 with 3:17 left to go. As we want to thank our sponsors, Glenn Smith Chevrolet GMC, Zaxby's, Pepsi, Alabama Power, our supporting sponsors. Alex Quinney Allstate. Don't forget, we will announce an Alex Quinney Allstate Good Hands Player of the Game. We have Master Wall Incorporated. We got Terry Johnson Agency, State Farm, Carroll Purdue. Played at Glenwood. Ties to one of our sponsors and both schools. And Columbus State University. Ball, in the air. Swag with it. Sykes, back to here comes Hayden Harper, missed the shot, and Swag and hits a big bucket. Glenwood with the 3-point lead. Back out. That ties the game at 60. Ice water in his veins. Alexander scores! Glenwood with a 62-60 lead, 2:08 to go. Myers driving the baseline. Harris, corner three, and he airmails it. Haley with a rebound. Hayden Harper for three, and scores! Glenwood trails by one now. Hayden Harper with 29 points. Unbelievable. Swag with it. Back over to Alexander. Sykes. Glenwood down by one. Alexander. Little floater and scores. Glenwood takes the 1-point lead. And we got a timeout on the floor. 1:29 left to go. Glenwood leads Lee Scott Academy 64-63. Unbelievable. We're really gonna have to thank our social media partner. Big shout out to Colleen Scroggins, CNAW2news.com, for the special partnership with Georgia Alabama Sports Live. The local content that you want to see, you can see it, and they will share it on their Facebook page. And we appreciate our social media partner. Also, a big shout out to Only Colga, as they have shared our stuff as well, as that's what we are all about, is supporting the student athlete and showcasing their talent. And I'm going to say it, in my 3 years of doing broadcasting, this might be one of the most exciting games, if not the most exciting game I've ever called. But we're not done yet. We still got a minute 29 to go, and I have got to reserve my voice, because I got a basketball game I'm calling tomorrow. Oh man, you could feel the energy in this gymnasium. Here comes Hayden Harper. 29 points. Bounce pass to Parker Wright. Haley back over to Chapman Harris. You got Haley tipped away. It's staying right here with Lee Scott. 1:13 left to go. The starting five: Parker Wright, Parks Myers, Grayson Haley, Chapman Harris, and Hayden Harper. Harper being guarded by Swag. Now top of the key, Haley. Back out to Harper. Harper crossover. Back out to Sykes. Sykes, Swag, bounce pass to Alexander. Spin move. Alexander puts up a shot and gets fouled. 47 seconds left to go. Alexander is going to go to the line for two. An incredible performance by Hayden Harper with 31 points. Also an incredible performance by Swag and Braylon Alexander. Also Mason McCrane, Tyler Sykes, Levi Pender. This has been a team effort by Glenwood. Alexander just tied the game. I was telling Brandon on the break, I got to call Marion County Chaco tomorrow. I'm trying to conserve my voice as much as possible. Alexander. And Glenwood misses. Harper with the rebound. It's staying with it. Tied up at 65. And we'll be back after this on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. Live. I've called archery with a soft-spoken voice out on a broadcast game. It could go down as we saw the Central Russell County game last year go to overtime. And you can catch Thrift Behringer and I talking about it on the Georgia Alabama Sports Live show, which will air on Sunday. And I'll also make sure to mention it on the Sports Beat. You know, I got that other podcast I do. Foul. Hayden Harper will inbounds it. Over to Barrett Cook. Cook with some open lane. 40 seconds. Back over to Harper. Glenwood in the zone. 30 seconds. Braylon Alexander! Alexander scores, and Glenwood's got the 2-point lead! What a steal by Alexander. Harper with it, and we got a foul left to go. Lee Scott will inbounds it, down by 2, 15.7 seconds left to go. Here we go, folks. Haley will inbounds. Looking for Harper, 14 seconds. Harper with a screen. Hayden Harper splitting the defenders, and we got a foul on the floor with 9 seconds. You know that Lee Scott's gonna put the ball in Hayden Harper's hand to try to either tie it or win it. That's what great players do, and Hayden Harper is a fantastic player, having a great game. We got another timeout, but we're going to keep this here. All right, here's the scenario. 9.4 seconds. Glenwood leading Lee Scott Academy 67-65, and Lee Scott with the ball. Do you try to go for the 3 to try to win it in regulation? Or do you go for the tie and go to overtime? Alex Quinney, All-State, Master Wall, CV Salina Aiken tomorrow at the Lumpkin Center. As both the Cougars and Lady Cougars got big wins Wednesday, knocked down a 3. Barrett Cook has got a 3 in this game. He can knock down one. All right, what's the play with 9.4 seconds? Glenwood's going to need to get a stop. Oh, the Glenwood fans are just going nuts. All right, buckle up, folks. Here we go. Bounce pass to Harper. Harper. Pass over to Chapman Harris. Harris back out to Harper. Harper for 3 and misses. It goes out of bounds, back to Glenwood with 1 second left to go. Glenwood wants a timeout. Hayden Harper had a chance to win it for Lee Scott with a 3, and he misses. Unbelievable. And he can't believe himself either. I know, I'm looking at his facial expression. He is frustrated. That is a shot that normally goes in. But we've seen great players miss big shots before. How many times in the 1991 NBA Finals, Michael Jordan missed the shot in Game 1 against the Lakers. LeBron James has missed shots in the NBA Finals. That was the right call for Hayden Harper to try to take that 3, to try to win it in regulation. But I tell you what, 1 second left to go. Glenwood has got a chance. Tim Fanning, the athletic director. He's you know what? He's telling the students, do not storm the court. Whatever you do not storm the court. You look at the athletic director, he has taken charge of those students over there and say, you're just going to stay put and cheer right there. We don't need any court storming. This is not Cameron Indoor Stadium. No, we do not need that here in high school basketball. Yeah, sure we do, Brandon. I know. Sykes will inbounds at 1 second. Long pass to Mason McCrane, and Glenwood defeats Lee Scott Academy, and they're storming the court anyway. Wow, what a game. Glenwood has come in and knocked off the 3rd-ranked team in the AHSAA 3A, and they are going crazy here in the pit Lee Scott falls to 3-0 in the area, and they are in first place in the area. Alex Quinney, who is the Alex Quinney All-State Good Hands Player of the game. Hayden Harper before this game. He's 30, a junior. And you know, the thing about this rivalry, it's special. We're going to see them again on Monday, January 27th. And I cannot wait for that because this is really what high school basketball is about. When you have an intense rivalry like this, where Lee Scott was up by 8, Glenwood was up by 6, just trading baskets for 3 minutes. But you know what? I got to subscribe to the Facebook channel. Sponsors, Zaxby's, Gordy Eye Care, our supporting sponsors, Alex Quinney All-State, Masterwell Incorporated, State Farm Carroll Purdue, Terry Johnson, Media Partners, Colga. I want to thank Brandon Schwobel. So for Brandon Schwobel, I'm Richard Holdridge saying so long. Gators defeat the Lee Scott Academy Warriors 69-65 and take Soul. Thank you for tuning in.
Control of my accounts wherever I go. I can easily transfer money between internal and external accounts, get money faster by setting up recurring transfers, and I can find the nearest ATM or branch right from my phone. Plus, I can add my Kinetic cards to my phone's digital wallet and enjoy quick, secure, contactless payments. By the way, Mom, I need some more money.
Kinetic Credit Union, the energy for your dreams.